All right, let's talk about a skill that's absolutely critical, whether you're in a high-stakes boardroom or just haggling at a local market. We're diving into the art of negotiation. And the funny thing is, it's something we do all the time, often without even realizing it.
So just think about it for a second. Have you ever been in a market, you see something you like, and you just casually ask, hey, can you do any better on the price? That simple little question. Yep, that's negotiation. That's it, in its purest form.
Or what about this one, which is a bit more formal? A new job offer lands in your inbox, or maybe it's that time of year for your performance review, and you sit down to talk about your salary. That conversation is 100% a negotiation.
So if you've ever done either of those things, and I'm willing to bet you have, then congratulations, you're already a negotiator. See, it's not some scary, complicated process that's only for CEOs. It's really just a fundamental part of how we communicate to find some common ground.
Okay, so what are we really talking about when we use the word negotiation? Let's strip it all back and get to the core concept.
At its heart, negotiation is simply a discussion. It's a conversation. I think there's this big misconception that it's about winning a fight or dominating the other person. But the real goal? It's to work together to find a solution that everyone can shake hands on.
And in the business world, gosh, it happens constantly. We negotiate prices with our suppliers, we hammer out contract terms with clients, we solve problems with our teams, we form partnerships, we even negotiate simple things like project deadlines. It's literally the engine that keeps business moving.
But, and this is important, not all negotiations are the same. When you sit down at the table, there are really two main ways to look at it, two main approaches you can take. So on one side, you've got the win-lose mindset. This is like fighting over a single pizza. If I get an extra slice, you lose a slice. But the real goal, especially for long-term success in business, is a win-win. This is all about finding ways to make the pizza bigger, to find creative solutions so everyone walks away happy. That's how you build trust and relationships that last.
And listen, this isn't just some nice, feel-good idea. It's a serious strategic advantage. In the world we live in today, your reputation as a fair, collaborative partner is everything. A win-win approach means people will want to do business with you again, and that just opens up so many more doors for the future.
Okay, to be an effective negotiator, you need to speak the language. So let's get you set up with some of the key terms and phrases you're definitely going to hear and use.
Every single negotiation has to start somewhere, and that's with an offer. This is your opening move, the very first proposal you put on the table. It's what gets the ball rolling, and it often starts with a very simple, clear phrase, just like this. We can offer you, that's the starting gun.
Now, how often is that first offer the one that gets accepted? Almost never. Your response to that first offer is called the counteroffer, and this is where the real dance begins.
And a fantastic way to do this without being aggressive is to just ask a question. Something like, is there any flexibility on the price? See how that works? It invites discussion, it doesn't create a confrontation.
So after all the back and forth, all the offers and counteroffers, what are we trying to achieve? We're looking for an agreement. This is the finish line, the final deal that both sides say yes to. And when you get there, you want to lock it in with absolute clarity. Something direct like, that works for us, we have a deal. It just removes any doubt and makes the outcome official.
Knowing the lingo is one thing, but what really separates the best negotiators is having the right skills and the right mindset. So let's talk about what you need to cultivate to be truly successful.
Think of this as your core toolkit. First, preparation. You've got to do your homework. Know your numbers, know your goals. Next, clear communication. So important for avoiding misunderstandings. Then, active listening. This is your secret weapon. It helps you understand what the other side really needs. Then you have emotional control. You got to keep a level head. And finally, confidence. You have to project that you believe in the value you're offering.
You know, here's one of the biggest secrets about negotiation. It's not about who talks the most. Not at all. The person who wins is almost always the person who listens the best. The real power comes from understanding the other person's perspective. That's the intelligence you need to build a winning strategy.
All right, let's wrap up with something a little more subtle but incredibly powerful. Because in any negotiation, what you say is really only half the battle. Now, this isn't just about being nice. It's about being effective. The way you communicate, your tone of voice, your politeness, your professionalism, it can completely change the dynamic. A calm, respectful approach builds a connection, and it makes the other person much more likely to want to find a solution with you. So from here on out, just remember, your next conversation, whether it's about a project at work or what to have for dinner, could be a negotiation.
They're all around us. The only question left is, the next time you're in one, are you going to be ready?